Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Bump, can I tell you about my experience? Not necessarily watching this game, but leaving this game, because I'm wondering if it reflects anyone else's thought process right now, today, in this moment. So
sure.
Okay, you're gonna pick up what I'm putting down here. So I watched the game with Mike Salk. We carpooled out, and then on the ride back, Mike, I was talking to Mike, who has covered many a playoff baseball team, and has much more extensive baseball coverage than I have. So I'm talking to him, and I'm also local, so there's half of this is trying to look at it rationally, and half of it is going, it feels bad, everything feels bad, the sky is on the floor. So I said, I gotta be honest, I don't think it's happening. I think it's done. I think it's over. And I feel like it took everything in Salk not to laugh, because he kind of had the reaction you did of like, no. So I spend like a good 10 minutes talking about how this is done. There's absolutely no way. And then I get home and I write up like a little quick recap and send it over for Seattle Sports. And the self-righteous tone I had in that recap of like, guys, it's a best of 3. Okay, everyone listen to me. Everything's going to be fine. Like I felt like I was putting on, it wasn't a mask. It was just, I did a full 180 and I was like, let me tell you about baseball. but I'm kind of feeling both things today. So that's what I'm getting at, is I went through it with what I feel and what I think is true about baseball being two very different things, and I don't know which one is going to end up being right. What I feel is it's done, but what I know about baseball is not only it's not, but that a winner of the first two statistically is more likely to advance.
Yeah, it don't feel good. It's hard not to tap into that dark place when you see your team up 2-0 and then lose 2 at home. You're supposed to be good at home, right? That's your profile. No. Me personally, I prepare for the worst regardless. I prepare. I mentally prepare, okay, what if they don't get this done? Just prepare yourself for this. But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's tied up, 0-0, win 2, and you're in. So, yeah, I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because the reality of the situation is that it's not over, but you're going off of what you've seen as of late. You've seen yesterday 1 through 4 get one hit yesterday. 1 through 4 got one hit. Josh Naylor doing everything he can to keep this team afloat. You have Suarez who had a hit. Okay, Canzone had a hit. But other than that, Naylor, Suarez, Canzone are the only ones who squared it up. And the jacked up part, too, is that there were some hard-hit baseballs that just didn't work out.
Yeah.
For Toronto, it seems like every baseball they hit hard ended up in a home run or a double or a single. They were just getting on.
It was so consistent that it felt unfair. Like, I had to stop myself from feeling that feeling, because it's like, wait, stop being a fan. But, like, there were moments where I just thought, like, how are they can't keep getting away with this.
They keep doing it. And we knew that they were capable of this, too, right? The first 2 games – you get those wins, and Toronto does not look like the team that they were the series before against the Yankees. But now the Blue Jays are reminding you, look, we hit bombs, we hit for contact, we don't strike out very often. This is who we've been. So you're in a battle. Let's get it.
So, again, to my thought process there.
Okay. Let's
get back to talking about the Mariners bats. So I'm complaining about it for about 15 minutes to Salk. Then I head home, and after complaining about it, I'm like, okay, let me challenge myself to try to look at this as though I don't know anything about the Mariners, and I'm just looking at their stats, and I'm trying to project what might happen, okay? So I'm like, well, listen, yeah, the Blue Jays offense was arguably the number 1 offense in the regular season and has been the best offense in the postseason, right? In the regular season, they had more hits, more runs, a better average than anyone. And that has carried over into the postseason. They have more runs, more hits than anyone. The Mariners' offense was also really good. Like, I feel like we're really getting lost here when we start. This version of the Mariners is not the good version of the Mariners, and that's what's so deeply frustrating about it. It's not like it's like, oh, these plucky underdogs, maybe they can pitch their way to a World Series. That's hugely important. You cannot give up 29 hits over 2 games and not think a problem is with your pitching. But they had more home runs than Toronto in the regular season. They drew more walks than Toronto. They had more stolen bases. They grounded out less often. They had a better OPS in September, the second highest in baseball behind the Phillies. This is not a team that fell backwards into the ALCS. And I think that's what's so deeply frustrating for Mariners fans watching this series right now. It's why on paper, this is anyone's game. On paper, a best of 3 between 2 very good offenses. If you go look at the postseason stats right now, it will not feel this way. But I'm telling you that Toronto and Seattle are way above everyone else in terms of runs and hits and like every offensive bet. It will not feel that way to you today, but that's what it is. But there is an offensive problem, it feels, Bump.
Yeah, there is. I mean, you just look at the last 2 games. You get outscored 21-6.
Bad.
Not good. Before that, you outscored them 13-4. It's just it's an up and down, smiles and frowns type of thing. And the thing that I thought would keep these guys in the game is I didn't think the Blue Jays pitching could keep up with the Mariners pitching.
I expect a bad Scherzer.
Yeah, I did too. He's old as heck, man. Hey, did you know he has 2 different colored eyes? I just noticed that last night.
Yeah, he looks, yes. And he's a crazy person and looks like an Aussie Shepherd.
And then that interaction he had with the skip on the mound was interesting as well. But look, man, it is what it is. The 4 teams remaining are good ball clubs. No one said this was gonna be easy. I know you it was almost like fool's gold those first 2 games, right? You neutralized Toronto. Toronto's not hitting the rock. They're not doing what they do. They were not the team that they have been all year.
Is it fool's gold, or do you deserve to be here just as much because your pitching is better than theirs?
2 games were fool's gold because Toronto. Look what Toronto's doing as of late. This is who they are. You got to put up runs against Toronto.
Seattle won 17 of 18 at the end of the year.
That's fine.
Is that not who they are?
That's fine. It is who they are. But this is who the Toronto is too. Like, if you really thought that you were going to be able to put up...
I see what you're saying. They weren't going to be a low-scoring...
No. Yeah. You knew you were going to have to throw some hands and put up a fight. Yeah. So this is exactly what it is. So now, can you bounce back? You know they're going to put up runs. You know your pitching is capable of shutting them down, but you can't go into this series or go into the next game just thinking your pitching is just going to limit these guys to 1 or 2 runs. It can. It's done it, but it's not likely. So, put up some runs, 1 through 4, get your act together, and let's get it.
But this is a good team. Yeah. They're not playing like it, so what's going on here? Cal Raleigh post-game, I feel like hinted at a need to avoid pressing.
Yeah, to me, it's just, we fell behind, give that big crooked number, and then, let the starter get comfortable there, and it's kind of happened the past 2 nights. So we just got to keep the pressure on. Even if there is a number given up, we have to keep the pressure on and play our game, and we just kind of, tough at bats like we've been doing the first 2 games.
It's an ALCS. You cannot make a baseball argument that the Mariners are a bad team. You're going to sound stupid. Nah, so instead, what we're going to try to figure out is, well, what's happening when a bad team plays poorly? What things are at play here? One of them sometimes is just luck, which, sure, maybe that's a factor, park factors, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about some of the other things that people are seeing. Is one of the things at play here being that when this team has fallen behind, particularly at home, they start making bad swing decisions and pressing. Yes.
Yeah, they're chasing.
They're chasing.
And, I mean, that's human nature. You feel the pressure. You know you're down. You want to be the one to make something happen. Therefore, you're more likely to swing at some pitches that you typically have a bit more discipline. Yeah, that and that's how teams separate themselves, right? Who's going to be the team that can be more disciplined, that can be patient? And it's hard to be patient when you're down. It's hard to be patient when your guy on the mound doesn't feel like he has it that day. You want to help your boy out. You want to be the guy to make the play. There's no fault in that, but it's all about play discipline. The team that is disciplined at the plate has a better chance to win this ball game. And last 2 games has been Toronto.
Someone said Seattle's entirely reliant on hitting home runs and Toronto isn't. Seattle has also shown some plate discipline. They've drawn more walks than Toronto in the regular season. I think that's what's getting away from Seattle. Yes, Seattle does have more slugging. And by the way, slugging is incredibly valuable in the postseason. Incredibly valuable. The top 3 run-scoring teams in the postseason right now, Toronto, Seattle, the Dodgers. hey, they're in the LCS. Dodgers look like they're about to sweep the Brewers. I would say there's a pretty good correlation between the ability to slug, the ability to pitch, and the ability to advance in the postseason. That being said, what they did so well also was draw walks, find ways to get on base, steal bases, and then when you hit a bomb, it's a 2-3 run shot or whatever. And then, yes, they do hit singles. They aren't only a home run team, but like they're not doing anything is the point. Look at Geno Suarez. He's not hitting. He's certainly not hitting home runs. He's not drawing walks. That's a problem. Randy's your leadoff hitter. He's not getting on base consistently. That's a problem. So you aren't doing the things in the regular season that you did well outside of just hitting bombs. Oh, and you're not hitting home runs.
You're not doing it for 2 games, right?
No, they haven't scored more than 4 runs at home. They're not doing it at home.
I'm not talking about home, just in general in the series. For 2 games, you did enough to win. For 2 games, you are not the team that you've been throughout the regular season. That's why it's a 7-game series, right? Doesn't mean they can't do it, but because we're not seeing it, naturally you're going to look at them and say, I don't know if they can get this done. We have the same feeling right now that Toronto fans had, a few days ago. Like, what's happening? This isn't the team that we're used to seeing, but that's what happens when you play a 7-game series, man, is that there are going to be moments like this. Unless you are just on a run like the Dodgers are and everything's going fine, your pitching is good, it's so rare and so hard to capture just that excellent play 4 straight games, right? And that's the battle that they're up against. So they're capable, but for 2 games, they have not been the team that we're used to seeing, especially towards the end of the year. How do you tap back into that? That's the $1 million question.
How do you think you do? I think that they try to be a little more patient than they have been. Again, I've never held a bat and walked out of playing a professional game. What do I know about it? But I do feel in my bones when I've watched these games that it feels like when they've fallen behind, I don't think they're checking out. I think they want this badly, but I think that means there's been some pressing and bad decisions. That's how it feels to me. All of them know more than I do, know more than any of us do. But that to me would be one fix. To you, what are you hoping to see?
Just good ABs, man. Get back to some pro at bats. You know what? Was one series or one game Naylor had 11, 12 pitch at bat. JP had like a 16 at bat one of these days. You know what I mean? It's just
game 4 ALDS.
Yeah, just grind it out. You know what I mean? Like you have to have pro ABs, and you need your pitching to be elite again. It's easier said than done. You always got to go out and execute, but that's what it comes down to: is swing at good pitches and your pitching getting back to what they used to be.
Oh, this is massive too from the 253 pickoff at first. Curtis, when was Max Scherzer's last successful pickoff attempt?
2016.
Gross. Pickoff at first. And shout out to Leo Rivas, who otherwise done a good job, had a good AB, but not good there getting thrown out. Thrown out at third for Naylor, obviously. He said he was trying to make a play, trying to just keep things going. It didn't work out. Diving catches in the outfield. They're cutting off pressure before it gets going. Yes, that's also felt massive here. The Blue Jays never felt more pressure than when they first arrived at T-Mobile. When they got on their plane to fly to Seattle, that was the most pressure you put on them. Since then, it's just lifted. Every inning, you know what I mean? Like every game, it's just gradually lifted. The most they felt as though their backs were against the wall was before they hit the field here. Now it's even. So how do you get their backs against the wall again? We know how they respond to that. How they respond is being very aggressive. I don't think being quite as aggressive is how the Mariners can respond. It's just, they're not built quite the same. You respond by being exactly who you have been. Don't change it.
Yeah, it starts with your pitching. Like you need. I mean, Kirby came out for an inning and a half or whatnot, and made you feel like, okay, he's locked in, he's on point. Then he gets lit up. Castillo gets himself in a bit of a pinch. He gets pulled early. That's where it has to start. It has to start with your pitching. And during that streak, with that 17-game streak or whatnot, it was the bats were hot, the bats were flowing, the bats were the ones who kind of took some pressure off the pitching. Right now, this is why you have Castillo and Kirby and Logan for these moments to where they have to put the team on their back and alleviate some of this pressure, because if they can come out and give you 3 or 4 solid innings to start and the bats can feel like they can just swing freely and not press, I think that has to be the formula. Just pitching, set the tone, and I think the bats will follow.
And here's what Josh Naylor had to say after the game, as well as Jorge Polanco, who I'm going to play next, about just how you look forward here.
You just got to come to the ballpark every day ready to play, ready to work hard.
and ready to have fun. It's a kids' game at the end of the day. I know it's the postseason, and crowds are a little bit louder, lights are a little bit brighter, moments are bigger, but at the end of the day, it's still baseball. Like, you've still got to show up like it's game 1 or game 15, game 130. Like, you just got to play baseball and kind of take certain scenarios out of it and just come to the ballpark ready to play, ready to have fun, ready to enjoy the big moments when you get them, learn from the mistakes when they happen. I don't know. It's just baseball.
Play free. Here's Jorge Polanco.
Oh, we believe in each other here. We know what a special group we have. We support each other, and we know we've been to tough time before. And like I say, we believe in each other, and we want to come back.
I feel like common sentiment, you'll probably hear it at any clubhouse at this moment when you drop 2 in the postseason, is just like, be ourselves, play free. We've been resilient before and we can do that again. But like, Bump, as well as anyone that sometimes mentally you have to try to win before you physically do. Like, you have to put your mind there first.
Mind where? Winning?
Yeah, or just like, if you go, like, have you ever in your life, like, let's say at Wazoo, I'm sure you entered a game going, oh, we're probably not going to win this. But did you ever enter a game going, I'm going to have a bad day?
Oh, of course not.
Absolutely not.
Of course not.
You enter the game going, I'm the best receiver on this field. And so I think there's a reason that all these guys are still looking at it that way. And frankly, I think they should. Like, this is a good team.
You should. They're here for a reason.
I know.
You're a good ball club. You don't sneak into the CS. You know what I mean? You have to grind. You grinding for that bye. You win the series against Detroit. You just got to remind yourself sometimes. Look in the mirror, hype yourself up, do what you got to do. But the key is just not to press. Like, don't make this game bigger than what it is. Mm-hmm. It's not an elimination game. If you win this game, the pressure is back on them. And that's all you're trying to do is put pressure back on them. You're at home. You've been good at home. Remind yourself of the positives and go and play some good ball.
It's a Fan Friday, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Dodgers have taken a commanding 3-0 series lead on the Brewers. What's the real headline?
It hasn't been a good 2 days, but I can think of a team that's having a worse week. The Brewers have 3 runs in those 3 games, and they've lost 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, they're struggling right now.
They're struggling.
Yep. The Dodgers pitching has been just on point. 3 runs in the last 3 games, and they're showing you how to grind it out. It starts with the pitching. So, but everyone knows that, right? You talk to people who cover baseball, they're going to say it's all about the pitching in the playoffs. That's what the Dodgers have been doing. Seattle needs to take a note out of that book and get back on track with the arms.
Can I just do a PSA here? Again, I recognize that I started the show. I started the show by mentioning that I was basically complaining to Mike Saul about how they're done. This is over. It's not happening. And then I tried to turn myself a little bit into a little more positive thing. But either way, I do think sometimes we're just saying things that are wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not being honest about where this team is, for instance. 253. And thank you for listening. I'm not calling you out, but I do want to talk about this take. Like Bump said a couple months ago when we got our butts kicked by New York, we're not at that level. A 200 batting average is not going to cut it. Starting pitching has to be as good as they were 2 to 3 years ago. Too many mistakes. We need more dudes on the roster that have been there before. First of all, you have dudes on this roster with playoff experience. Secondly, I'm sorry, maybe I missed the schedule here looking for today's games. Is it the New York Yankees that the Mariners are going to be facing in the ALCS? Curtis, I can't. Did you see whether it was the Yankees or the Blue Jays in the ALCS? No, it's absolutely not. It's not the Yankees. So, yes, there was a point in the season where it felt as though there was a gap, a divide that the Mariners needed to conquer. You cannot earnestly, honestly, say that the Mariners don't deserve to be here, that they're a bad team, that they're going to blow it because they're just not good. The issue, and what's so frustrating, is that they are good enough and they're not playing like it. It's okay to be mad at that. It's okay to complain about it and rant about it, but I'm sorry, you don't get to the ALCS and then complain that they're just not like those other teams. There's one other team in your league. That's it. You're the last 2. Stop.
And you beat this team twice already. And back then, at the time, I said the Yankees they weren't on that level then.
Yeah.
It's a season, right?
Yes, exactly.
You progress throughout the year.
And you were right
You get
then.
better. You go up, you go down. So, they deserve to be here, man. They show they can beat this team. Just step back in.
You can be really annoyed that they're not performing. I don't think you can say that they're somehow not as good as teams that have already been eliminated from the playoffs.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, 40-year-old Joe Flacco and the Bengals outlasted 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. What's the real headline?
Youth always wins out. Joe
Young man's
Flacco.
game nowadays.
Yeah, this actually, maybe what I'm most upset about Game 4 is I didn't watch as much of Thursday Night Football as I should have, because this ended up being a pretty exciting game. What was pitched as being, it's the Icy Hot Bowl, it's the AARP Bowl, it's going to be just two old guys throwing the ball back around and being bad. No, it was pretty good.
They let Joey Flack throw that thing 47 times.
Listen, I tried showing you so many highlights. I showed Bump 6 Joe Flacco highlights, and you were like, and then a scramble, and what was the last play? A deep shot, a deep sideline shot, like a.
It was a deep sideline shot.
Okay, I would say it was. It was like 18 yards downfield.
Yeah, I just, it was cool. Joey Flack was on time, but there was no zip on the ball. But you know what? He got the W. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 342. Do what you do. Cincinnati trying to hang around until hopefully
Joe Burrow gets back.
That was a good win by them.
I also think I have to accept that I've lost this bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I lost it a while ago, but there was that one play when Russ went out there for Jackson Dart, when Jackson was in the tent, when I thought, I'm back in this, baby, let's go. I'm back in this bet. Yeah, and then he just overthrew it and left the field. And
back to the bench.
I think I'm out. I think I'm out of this one. I've lost the bet.
It's all good.
Yeah, thank you.
Headline 3, the still unranked Huskies, despite their 5-1 record, traveled to the Big House to take on Michigan on Saturday. What's the real headline?
The Dogs have a chance to fight for something real here. The others receiving votes category.
That's right.
Let's get it. Let's get this bread.
Just outside the top 25.
Others receiving votes.
They should be in, honestly. They should be in
Yes,
top 25 at this point. But no, you go to the Big House, you get a W, you're definitely in. So just take care of business and see if your game can travel.
A question to answer on the text line, 866-979-3776. What's the bigger issue going into Game 5 today? The lineup or starting pitching? That's next on your home for the Mariners in the American League Championship Series, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
It's time, right? Yeah, okay, push it. We're Seattle sports fans, man. Ain't our first rodeo with the panic button.
The series is tied. The Mariners aren't down.
If the Mariners have taught us anything in 2025, it's that anything is possible.
He's still 2 wins away from going to a World Series.
ALCS Game 5. First pitch today at 3.
And the sellout crowd just waiting to go bonkers.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. What about when you want to sell your car, though? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how can you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? Stacy Rost here, and that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. They've already given back over $800,000 to their customers. You can go to the website to see pictures of giant checks for yourself. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're wondering right now. How are they able to do it? It's not a consignment because you get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value. No more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage, no more headaches. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. It's just that simple. Get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com. That's WayscarFord.com.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we provide top quality windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and stay clear with low maintenance glass. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Lake Washington Windows was voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new Leak Armor installed windows through October. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest until 2026. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
This is where you hear your AL West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
At Washington Energy Services, we take the time to get to know you and your home. We have the passion and commitment to see each project through and to treat our work as more than just a job. For over 65 years, we've offered award-winning home services, from heating and cooling, plumbing and electrical, to windows and doors. Complete home improvement handled from start to comfort. For peace of mind when you need it most, count on Washington Energy Services, bringing good energy to your home.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What's the bigger issue going into Game 5? The lineup or the starting pitching? I know your answer is everything, fix it, but let's figure out what's maybe a bigger issue here just for the sake of conversation. Bump, I've already got conflicting answers from listeners, no surprise. Tell me what you think of this. 425 says, it's simple. If you can't keep the opponent from scoring runs, I'm not saying shut them out. I'm just saying keep them from scoring 8 runs or more, then you've got no shot. You can't ask your offense, with the way they play at home, especially when it's cold, to go out and score 8+ runs. Last 2 games, the offense has given our pitching leads, and our pitchers absolutely tanked. Plain and simple, pitching needs to be better.
That's my answer. It's pitching. I think, obviously, look, base running has to be better. Hitting has to be better. Pitching has to be better. Yes, it's never just one thing when you lose a game, right? There's multiple things that you are just not executing. But for me, the pitching has to be on point. The pitching, the arms set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why you got to that trade deadline and you didn't get rid of any of these arms, because you knew that down the stretch in the playoffs, if these guys were performing at a high level, you had an opportunity to make a run at this thing. And yeah, when Castillo only goes, 2 and some change, when Kirby gets pulled early, yeah, it's pitching is the tone setter. And that's the reason why over the past couple seasons, you felt like this team had a chance.
Yep.
It wasn't because you looked at the lineup and said, ballers, we're hitting bombs, we're doing all this. That kind of happened this year. Like, they develop into this team that hits bombs and produces these runs or whatnot. But for the last 2 or 3 seasons, you've looked at the arms and said, that's going to be the reason why these guys make a run in the playoffs. So I'm sticking with the arms.
Dan Wilson on today's plan.
Bryce Miller will take the hill for us tomorrow night. Obviously pitched well against Toronto in the first game, and we're looking forward to giving him the ball tomorrow. Bryan's going to be available out of the pen, and I think that's the plan here going forward, and he's in good spot, and he's feeling good, and I think at this point that's where we're going to see him coming out of the pen.
Now, I think people were wondering, like, well, I thought maybe Woo would be a Game 6 starter, or if necessary, a Game 7. Is the fact that he hasn't started in a month why you're using him as a reliever?
Obviously something we considered and talked about, getting him in a game, will also allow us to, just kind of see how he is and where he's at, and that's important too. So, we kind of have to wait and see how these games develop and what happens. But again, we're excited to find a spot for him and get him out there.
I don't know that the team is not being fully honest about Woo, though I do think in hindsight his injury was a little more serious, took a longer time than people initially thought. When people found out, it's a pec and not like a UCL thing, great, fantastic, he'll be fine. It's like, well, hang on a minute. This doesn't mean that he'll be fine. He looked in that warm-up that we saw way back in Houston like he couldn't throw anything. So I think also part of it is, in theory, he's well rested. You're throwing him out there in must-win situations without any clue of what he's going to look like. That's risky. I get why
we
he's
don't
coming
have
out
a
of the
clue.
pen.
They have a clue. They've seen him throw the rock
in a game, in a start.
I mean, but that's what else do you have, right?
Logan tomorrow.
If he's available, use him. If he feels like he's 100%, use him. I'd rather go out there and have him struggle than to wonder what if. What if we use Woo in this situation? I'm all for it, man. They have to go off of their evaluations. They have to go off their trainers, how he feels, the velo that he has. Well, yeah, go ahead and use him. Mm-hmm. Who knows how this thing is going to end up? But he was your ace all year, and I'm excited to see him if he does go out there.
Okay, so you think that the bigger of the two issues right now is pitching. You cannot give up 29 hits in 2 games.
Nah.
I don't know that it's fair to ask for a team to get 20 runs over 2 games. Okay. 360 says, I think it's the lineup. Randy just doesn't have leadoff hitter mentality. I don't know about mentality, but not the numbers for sure. Cal and Julio press too much. Gino's swinging at everything and misses, and the bottom 3 just aren't productive. So saying, look, when I'm looking at this lineup, I'm seeing a lineup that, can they get 4 runs today? Can they get 3 or 4 or more? I mean, when we talked to after game 1, we talked with Goldie, and we said, hey, they ended up getting it done with 3 runs, a 3-run win over Toronto. Man, this offense is really good. And he said, I don't think they can win the ALCS scoring 3 runs a game.
Yeah.
And then the next day they got 10, which was great, which was fantastic. They've gone back to being pretty low scoring.
Yeah, no, you're going to need 4 or 5 of them things. 4 or 5 runs, man. Toronto has shown you that they are capable of tapping back in. There's no way Vladi Dottie was going to continue to go over. No way in heck he was going to go over. He hits a bomb. What was a hit away from the cycle the other day? Yeah, No, you have to put up 4 or 5 runs, and I think they're capable of doing it. I'm looking at the text lines, and a lot of people are saying, well, Toronto, they're putting the ball in play, and they're doing this and that. Yes, they are. That's just not the Mariners' game. Their game isn't, let's put together 4 or 5 at-bats. They're capable. They have runs where they do it, but their game is get 1 or 2 on, hit a bomb, and be solid with the pitching. I know people are frustrated with that approach, but that is who they've been. You can't change your stripes now. You got to go ahead. The main thing is just make these pitchers work, right? We're looking at Kirby. We're looking at Castillo. I mean, they've had some long innings. It's time for the Mariners to tap back into that.
Yeah, I think. And to tap back into it, that's when the smart play conversation comes in. I love Naylor for laying it all out there. He looks, there's a lot of guys that look like I think the whole team wants this badly, and people are showing it in different ways. Naylor is showing it in a way that's very obviously gritty. This guy wants it. And so I can see what he's trying to do. Don't be the third out at third. Just, it didn't work out. But these are when those mistakes come into play. Like, it felt like, and has felt like for 2 games, every time you could be getting a rally, it just stops. But, like, you only get those windows. You know what I mean? I know it feels like the Blue Jays have had them every inning, but, like, the Mariners have had their chances too. 2 on, no out. Or maybe, 1 on, but you've got, like, the hardier order. Like, whatever it is, you've had those moments and you've kind of squandered them. And so just playing, I don't want to say smarter, but more aware. I mean, just don't make dumb mistakes. Don't get yourself out of this.
Yeah, don't beat yourself.
I know that's basic. That's exactly what Mike was saying. But.
No, don't beat yourself. Make the other team earn it. Make them beat you. And not to say that Toronto hasn't earned it. You just made some mistakes to kind of help their situation. 1 for 3 runners in scoring position, so you're not getting a lot of traffic, right? Toronto, they put some pressure on. They were 3 for 10 runners in scoring position. But when you have runners on the bags, it applies pressure to the pitcher. He feels that, so that's what you have to do, man. It's a simple game, but so hard to execute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have all the answers right now, right? But these guys got to go out there and get her done. Does Randy, does he change his approach? No, I say no. Randy, keep swinging hard. Swing at good pitches, but keep swinging hard. We know who this team is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it just comes down to execution.
Let's see. Toronto is the better team, 100%. Toronto's offense was better than you during the regular season in pretty key categories, though your offense had a lot of slugging, drew a lot of walks, and stole a lot of bases, and that's worth mentioning. Your bullpen's better than Toronto's. I know it hasn't looked like it, but statistically, you have a better ERA over 162 than Toronto did.
Mm-hmm.
You just haven't been able to get to it. That's part of your problem too, right? No, Toronto's not flat out a better team. They're not better than Seattle in every facet. They're not. Statistically, that's not been true this season. Get to their bullpen. And I think a key to that bump is going to be, let's say that Toronto, let's say you go, Toronto puts up a run or 2 in the top of the first today. You put up zeros in the bottom. Maybe they put up 1 more run in the second. You put up zeros in the bottom. When you get to the third, don't be exactly who you need to be. Don't press. Don't start panicking, because at that point, people will go, it's on pitching. You can't give up those runs. That's 3 runs. You're a good offense. Have smart approaches. Don't make outs on base. Don't make horrible swing decisions and press. Like, that's a game that you can still win. So what I feel like I'm going to be tracking is, like, if they get down, what's the offense look like? How did the bats respond? That's when I do look at the offense and think, like, this is kind of on you. It's on pitching to keep you in the game, obviously, but it feels like they've been playing poorly when behind.
Yeah, because you start to press, swinging at bad pitches. Just swing at, look, if you go down swinging at good pitches, I mean, I'm not saying it's okay, but I can live with that. When you're going down swinging at pitches way outside the zone, that's when I start to get concerned. It's going to be a battle, so just get ready to fight. 4.25
drive-up pitch count, yes. Dan Wilson was kind of talking about that too, just like, get to their bullpen. I know they've got their ace, but get to their bullpen, man. Yours is better. I don't care what you have to say about the last couple games or about a bad game 4 in Detroit. You have a better bullpen than they do. Okay. Well, speaking of your bullpen, a starter's going to be coming out of it in this one. What's it going to look like? That's coming up next on your home for the Mariners in the American League Championship Series, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
It's time, right? Yeah, okay, push it. We're Seattle sports fans, man. Ain't our first rodeo with the panic button.
The series is tied. The Mariners aren't down.
If the Mariners have taught us anything in 2025, it's that anything is possible.
He's still 2 wins away from going to a World Series.
ALCS Game 5. First pitch today at 3.
And the sellout crowd just waiting to go bonkers.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Just like our favorite baseball team, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you book, and you'll knock it out of the park with 15% off and 12 months, no payments, and no interest. Schedule today before this deal is gone.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Lowe's knows pros want more. Join My Lowe's Pro Rewards for free to get $20 off your first qualifying purchase of $100 or more just for signing up. Plus, enjoy free standard shipping and more ways to save on your next job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid for new members only. Not valid with any other discount. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/pro loyalty for details. Subject to change.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
After 35 years in the window industry, I know choosing the right team for your window or door project is a big decision. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Treating your home with care while offering top quality products is important to me. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards, reduce noise by up to 50%, and feature low maintenance, clean glass technology. Combined with our leading leak armor installation and lifetime warranty, you get protection for life. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com, a name you can trust.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
My best, Bryan Windhurst. What's going on with Bryan Woo? Prior to when we found out they were going to ALCS, I was thinking, oh, worst case, game 5, you got Woo. Totally what I thought would happen. That is not happening. You may see Woo, though, which is pretty cool. I played this earlier, but as a reminder, here's Dan Wilson's plan for today. This was ahead of Thursday's game.
Yeah, I mean, you have to kind of give him a little bit more time. We talked about this a little bit with some of our starters before Game 5 of the ALDS, knowing that we might have a chance to use Logan Gilbert and Castillo, which we did. But again, I think they're able to use each other as resources, and we'll try to give them as much time as possible to get prepared to go out there. And that's really the thing that's the only thing we need to be concerned about is just giving him enough time. And but I think again his availability, his wanting to get back out there will really help there.
Okay, so here's the deal: Bryce Miller starting today. The plan is for Woo to be available to come out of the pen, but you just heard Dan Wilson. It's going to take him a little longer than maybe a routine bullpen arm to get ready there. Hey, Bryce, it's not going to be easy. We need you to get a little deeper into this game than did your cohorts, George Kirby and Luis Castillo. You got to buy time for Bryan to come out of the pen. This isn't like a quick hook and then Bryan's in there in the second.
Nah, you got to warm. You got to
get him some time.
Warm that engine up. And Bryce, last time we saw him, he looked good. So ride the wave, young man. Ride the wave. It started off was it the first pitch for Miller? You got taking yard, and then bounce back after that.
Yes, first pitch, first inning.
Yep. All right. So tap back in, throw that heat. Let's get her going. But yeah, you got to give Woo some time.
Let's take a listen to a bit of what Bryce Miller had to say. Again, all of this was pregame Thursday, but obviously talking about this one.
It's a little different, throwing to the same team in 5 days, and the only time I've done that is in the minor leagues with the new minor league schedule. But yeah, I mean, they were swinging it really well against the Yankees, and we slowed them down. And then yesterday they were swinging it really good. So I don't know. I don't want to say too much on game plan or anything, but got to study how I threw the other day and what works, what doesn't work, and go out and attack.
We know about the Blue Jays' approach because John Schneider, on the record ahead of Game 3, said we want to be much more aggressive. So they are facing a team that's approaching this slightly differently than they did in Game 1 when Bryce started. He talked about facing a more aggressive Blue Jays lineup.
Yeah, I think the main thing, just teams in general, whenever you're throwing to a very aggressive lineup compared to one that's not so aggressive, like you have to really make your pitches. You still want to get ahead. That's what we preach and what we try to do no matter what. Like, you want to get ahead when you're 0-0s and you're 1-1s, but you got to be a little more careful, in the early count pitches. You don't want to, just be like, if it's a guy that I know is not going to swing for the most part 0-0, then it's a little easier to, throw it down the middle. And whereas if they're looking to do damage on the first pitch, then you got to, pitch to the edges early and still get ahead. But yeah, you just got to make it a point to make better pitches in those early counts and get to the edges and not just give up the middle part of the plate early.
On paper, Bump, you've got this really interesting battle between an offense in the Blue Jays that does not strike out. I think second fewest strikeouts in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a pitching staff with Seattle that not only attacks the zone, but always seeks for like first pitch strikes, right? Get ahead in the, I mean, any pitcher's looking to get ahead in the count, but are very aggressive in the zone. Something has to give here. Either the Blue Jays are striking out more than they typically do, which happened in game 1, or the Mariners are giving up far too many hits, which has happened in the last 2 games. So I think it's part of why you've seen so many lopsided games. It's like, in theory, it's this great back and forth, but it's resulted in really unexciting contests that have gone one way or the other. Either the Blue Jays offense is striking out and looking horrible and quieting down, or the Mariners are just not hitting their spots and giving up way too much.
Yeah, it's lopsided either way, right? If they can find a place to like meet in the middle, right, that's when it gets competitive. And of course, I would prefer for
I would prefer for them to actually meet on the side of the Blue Jays striking out.
Of course, but I
meet all the way on that side.
I wouldn't depend on that because we're going off the profile of each team, right? Yep. And they didn't just. I mean, they beat the Yankees, Toronto 5-2, 9-6, 13-7, and then 10-1. Right? We know what their profile is. We know what they're capable of, but we also know what these arms are capable of when they're hot. So, yes, I definitely would prefer for the Mariners to come out and just smack them 8-1. That'd be nice, But we know what the talent that they have over there, man. And how do you get them out of the mental space they're in right now? Because Toronto's feeling good. We just went on the road. Well, we put that jacket on several times, a home run jacket. We quieted the Mariners fans. You have to do something early in this game to remind them that they are in a battle, because to them, they probably have the feeling like it's 2-0 them. You know what I mean? So how do you do that? Attack them. And I think Miller has the stuff to do that. And somebody's got to be the spark play. It's got to be someone other than just Naylor, right? Cal got to set the tone. Julio got to set the tone. I prefer it be Randy. I want to see that playoff Randy we keep hearing about. But this is it's stressful, but it's fun at the same time, man, because it's not supposed to be easy. You don't have the roster for this thing to be easy.
Curtis, is the lineup already out for today?
I haven't seen any yet.
Okay. Would you guys want to see Naylor leading off?
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
JP leading off, is that a bad idea?
It might work better than what we've seen out of Rosarena. I think you got to do something at the top of the order today. Something different than what we've seen.
What if there's no change at the top of the order today? Will you be disappointed or be like, all right, well, it's...
No, I wouldn't be disappointed. I get it. I wouldn't be mad if Naylor led off. That makes sense, right? He's been your most consistent bat. But also, Randy's capable. You know what I mean? He is capable, but he's not performing. So they got some decisions to make.
Curtis, would you be disappointed?
A little bit. I think it's getting to a point where you can't really wait around anymore for Randy to get going. I think you got to get your best bats, the most ABs, and he has not been one of them throughout this playoff run.
It's been so weird. It's like, for a minute there, I thought that both Gino and Randy, like, there were moments in the Detroit series where I thought something's happening. Even for Gino, in game 2, he had a double. He kind of got like an RBI double robbed with a great catch, like a hard hit ball, and you were like, here we go, guys.
Yeah.
It's happening. He's going to heat up now. And instead, it's not been the case at all. Randy's hitting 158, 273 on base right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might agree with having Naylor lead off.
I ain't mad at it.
I mean, the lineup's got to be coming out soon.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on it, obviously. Watch high school football live Saturday night for the Seattle Sports Game of the Week, presented by STSPN. The North Creek Jags host the Liberty Patriots live from Pop Keeney Stadium in Bothell.
Pop.
I knew something. It's like I could hear you breathe in. Watch the game live Saturday at 7 p.m. exclusively on the Seattle Sports app, seattlesports.com, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page for full 2025 matchups. Visit seattlesports.com/high school. Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill joins us next for a Game 5 preview on your home for the Mariners in the American League Championship Series, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
It's time, right? Yeah, okay, push it. We're Seattle sports fans, man. Ain't our first rodeo with the panic button.
The series is tied. The Mariners aren't down.
If the Mariners have taught us anything in 2025, it's that anything is possible.
He's still 2 wins away from going to a World Series.
ALCS Game 5. First pitch today at 3.
And the sellout crowd just waiting to go bonkers.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
At Bible Law Group, we understand when your legal problems hit biblical levels. That's why you can't wait 20 years to make the playoffs. You need help in court now. With James Bible and his team by your side, don't panic when the giants you're facing seem 10 feet tall or when you feel trapped in a lion's den of litigation. At Bible Law Group, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. When your legal problems are biblical, contact Bible Law and let our talented team get to work. No matter the case, find us at BibleLawGroup.com.
This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, choose care that puts you first. At Snoqualmie Valley Health, you won't wait weeks for a mammogram. Appointments are available now, just 30 minutes east of Seattle. Experience the difference with advanced 3D mammography and our new Breast Health Suite, designed for accuracy, comfort, and peace of mind. If you're 40 and older, yearly screenings are recommended, and no referral is needed if you haven't had a mammogram in the past year. Don't wait. Detect early. Schedule today at SnoqualmieValleyHealth.org.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
The LJ way is.
You look at stuff like this and it's like, I don't want to come into an industry and work on a place that is going to compromise how I feel about myself. I get to go to work every day with good people, and I get to enjoy what I do because I'm out there just trying to do right by people I care about, which is our community. We're going to see them at the grocery store. I'm going to see them at the sports tournaments. 2 friends of our daughters came in last night just on the lot, didn't know I was there, and it was cool because you got to take them through, and they're going to buy a car for their first driver and a car for their kid going to school soon. These are the people that you're going to work with, and so you better make sure that your laundry's clean. I don't think Lee Johnson specifically, right, Speedway Chevrolet, where I'm at, I don't think they've ever had a problem with the community of being able to stand up and look them in the eye and know that they did their job well.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Takeback Day, October 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is underway. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man here. Get organized now with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Baseball's postseason is here. Seattle Sports playoff coverage is presented by Honey Bucket, 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners and Blue Jays are heading into a best-of-3 ALCS. Seattle's 2-game lead disappeared after Toronto took games 3 and 4 with dominant offensive outings. Not over till it's over, which makes for a pivotal Game 5 this afternoon at 3:08 p.m. Bryce Miller on the mound. Possible we see Bryan Woo out of the pen. Extended pregame coverage coming your way at noon, hosted by Bob Stelton, and Ryan Roland Smith. You can watch live from Hatback Bar and Grill or listen to the broadcast right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. It's a Fan Friday, powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. We've already got a few fan questions in for Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill, who joins us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Gary, how's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm nervous. If I'm being completely blunt, I am nervous. I've been almost like going up to everyone seeking. I've been very reassurance seeking over the last 24 hours.
I understand that, yes.
But what can I do? I'm actually going to start with a popular question that both Bump and I have seen all day, which is, look, both pitching and offense have struggled in these two games. Sometimes it's just a little more frustrating to see the bats struggle. Do you think that sometimes when this happens, a slight shakeup to a lineup is worthwhile? For instance, leading off with Naylor.
You know, it can be. I don't have strong feelings on that either way going into this game. If they did it, I think that'd be fine. If they left the same lineup, I think that would be fine too. I guess just as a philosophy, I'm less concerned about lineup construction. I just always feel like, hey, put your best players at the top, and that's what you should do. They get the most at bats, and Cal batting second, Julio batting third. That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm more concerned, or not concerned. I think the way these two games have played out, the bigger issue has been the quality of strikes the Mariners have thrown. That's the biggest issue to me. We've seen it play out in the first two games. We know that the Blue Jays are very aggressive offensively. They're a team that doesn't strike out a lot, and they put a ton of balls in play. And the quality of strikes in the first two games was really good by the Mariners. And so we saw a lot of soft contact, and that aggressiveness played into the Mariners' favor. That's why Bryce Miller on short rest got to 6 innings, because it was a ton of weak contact, and he blew through a bunch of innings. And so it worked out great in the first two games. I don't feel like the quality of strikes thrown has been as good here at home, both from the starters, especially from the starters, and the bullpen as well. And that's when you get into trouble with the Blue Jays, because they have just torched the ball all over the yard. So we could talk about lineup construction, and the offense needs to be better. But for me, it starts right there, because they've been buried early in these two games. It felt like they haven't even given their offense a real chance to get going, even though the Mariners have scored first in the two games here. It was just an avalanche with the Blue Jays in two games, starting in the third inning on both nights, and that can't happen.
That's what Bump was saying
tonight. Yeah.
Gary, what are your thoughts on Woo potentially coming out the bullpen?
I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see it today, and I'm pretty excited about it. There is a bit of mystery, clearly. We haven't seen him on the mound since Houston, but he is the kind of weapon that can be huge in a game like this, because when we talk about quality strikes, especially with the fastball, that's what he does. I think he's a really good matchup for the Blue Jays. It's just he hasn't pitched forever, so we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know how long he can go, but it's a great weapon to have in a game like this. And I anticipate that Dan Wilson and the coaching staff will be very aggressive in the game. They were aggressive last night, and they'll be very aggressive in the game tonight because the difference is obvious. And Stacy, you just labeled it as pivotal, and that's exactly right. You're going to Toronto. That's going to happen. The question is, will you need one win in Toronto? Will you need 2 wins in Toronto? And to me, the difference of that is massive, which is why there's so much on the game here this afternoon.
The players and Wilson had plenty to say after the game. Was there maybe a noticeable theme or a comment that even stuck with you after that one about what they feel they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when I just talked to Dan Wilson a few minutes ago, and this sounds so simplistic, but they need to play better. It's funny when you get to this stage, and sometimes we're also Mariners focused that you can ignore the opposition. But when you get to the stage, there's 4 teams left. Every team is really good. The Blue Jays had the best record in the American League. And so when you make mistakes, a team like the Blue Jays, they're going to pounce and they're going to make you pay. And that happens with the Mariners too. Blue Jays made some mistakes in the first 2 games of the series, and the Mariners took advantage. So when I think about what we've seen the last 2 games at home, like yesterday, they just didn't play well, which is, I don't know, it's maybe a dumb thing to hear, but they didn't play a very good game. And a couple mistakes on the base paths, the quality of strikes wasn't what we're used to seeing. So I think that's my takeaway is come out here today and play a clean game against the Blue Jays. Don't give them the opportunities to take advantage of. That's what I'm looking for in this one, and that's kind of what I heard from Dan Wilson this morning.
What are you seeing from Randy in the box?
It's been a struggle. I was kind of hoping that late home run that we saw a couple nights ago would ignite things, but he has, I had high expectations coming in because of his playoff history has been phenomenal. It's clearly been one of the best postseason hitters ever, and we just haven't seen that consistently. And he's a guy that you just want him on base, whether it's a hit by pitch, taking a walk, a base hit, and he has some thump too. We just haven't seen it in the postseason. There's a couple guys struggling in the lineup. Suarez struggling as well. The thing is, with both of those guys, you just never know when it's going to turn around. And it could be today. You just don't know because that's the kind of hitters they both are. They're both, when they get red hot, they're both unstoppable and can carry a lineup. And we just haven't seen that in the postseason from either. It'd be really helpful to start today, that's for sure, because it's been a struggle at the top. And anytime, clearly, because Cal is having a great postseason, anytime you can get traffic on for Cal, and there hasn't been enough of that in this series, anytime you can get traffic on from Cal, it puts the Blue Jays in a very difficult position because he is the guy that they have spotlighted. And we were in Toronto, we heard it constantly because you think about it from a Mariners perspective. When you're playing the Yankees, you spotlight Judge. You're always aware where Judge is in the lineup. You don't want runners aboard for Judge. Ohtani, the kind of same way. That's how they talk about Cal Raleigh in Toronto. So when you can get traffic for Cal Raleigh, it puts fear into the Blue Jays, especially their fan base. But it puts fear into the Blue Jays. And, he's a great hitter, so it gives you a chance to get runs as well. So I think whoever is batting at the top is pretty key.
I'm glad that you mentioned that when you get into something, like the LCS, there's 4 teams left, and you tend to kind of isolate on your own team. I think sometimes that's true with negatives and that's true with bad things. So I found myself being of 2 minds today. On the one hand, maybe just growing up watching this team, part of me was like, it's over. I tend to be a pessimist anyway. So I was very much like, it's over, it's done. I'm leaving going, well, I appreciate that we got to see this. How fun. And then, in addition to Bump being like, okay, be so for real right now, I also had to remind myself, well, other teams have flaws too. So even though you've watched these Blue Jays bats just absolutely rake against you, and when you look up regular season stats or postseason stats, you see the Blue Jays leading in hits and runs, and you feel like that's just overwhelming. Well, your bullpen's a bit better, and you've stolen more bases. Like, I think that, Gary, I guess what I'm asking is like a possible reframing of this matchup to focus on where Seattle can have an advantage if they just do things their way.
I will also say what you're going through that's postseason baseball.
Yeah.
Like the emotions are all amplified. It's why I think postseason baseball is the best. It is heart-wrenching. It is heartbreaking. It is glorious. It is beautiful. It is everything all at the same time. And the emotions swing from inning to inning, from game to game. You feel like you're on top of the world one day, and the next you feel like it's the worst day you've ever experienced in your life. I mean, that is postseason at its best. I mean, Blue Jay fans were feeling that in the first two games, and now they're on the top of the world. But think about this. Think about this if you're a Mariners fan. Would you have taken 2-2 at this point going to Game 5? I would have at home.
Yep.
It's a weird way to get there, especially for two teams that have been great at home. The fact we haven't seen a team win at home yet in this series is super weird. But think about it like this. If the Mariners get the game today, going back to Toronto with a rested Logan Gilbert in Game 6, right? He hasn't been announced, but just guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that somewhere you want to be as a Mariners fan? Absolutely. It's just things can change in the blink of an eye, and it could start tonight. The Mariners could put 8 runs on the Blue Jays today, win 8-2, and everyone is feeling 100% different about this series. What I would say is the Blue Jays are a great team. I think the Mariners are a really good team. I think both teams are – I think these are the two best teams in the American League. And so – with a really interesting matchups, strengths on strengths. And you're right to point out the bullpen. I think one of the disappointing parts of these two games here is I think the Mariners have a chance to get to the Blue Jays bullpen because I think the Mariners bullpen is superior to the Blue Jays. It's just, the Blue Jays have thrown so many runs on the board early in the game, it just hasn't shown up. In a closer game, I think that would show up. So the key for me, can the Mariners be leading after 5? And then hand the ball to the bullpen to make this happen. That's the key for me today because that changes the game. Avoid the crooked number in the 3rd inning. Avoid the crooked number in the 4th inning. To me, that's where it's at for the Mariners today.
Gary, have you always been this calm?
No, I don't know if calm is the right word. I mean, we're a few hours before the game, so I'm calm now. I will say I may not have had this even outlook after the game last night. So let me be perfectly honest. Hey, I'm riding the emotions with everyone else. So just so you know, when I look back at Detroit Game 5, I grew up here. So I understand what Mariner fans are going through. When I think about Game 5, my wife, who grew up a Mariner fan, was in the stands with her brother. My brother was in the stands who grew up a Mariners fan. My dad was in the stands. All my best friends from high school and college are in the stands. I'm living and dying with everyone else. I just think, watching this, because I always try and take the other team's, outlook on this too, which is, I think, important when you talk about baseball, especially in a series. I just think the Mariners are still in a good spot despite the 2 losses. And I know it doesn't feel good watching to lose 2 games at home like this, but I just always thought this series would be a long series. I always thought this series would be a battle, and it's inevitable. If a series goes 6-7 games, it's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, and it's fun to ride the emotions. Not so fun when you're on the downside. When you're on the up, there's no better feeling. And after today's game, we all could be riding the high again. I don't know how today's going to play out, but that's where we could be.
You mentioned, you're seeing strength versus strength, that you feel they're the 2 best teams in the American League. I wanted to talk about kind of how pitchers attack versus how the Blue Jays hitters are attacking. Are you finding that there's a clash there that for the last 2 games has benefited Toronto? What's that kind of back and forth been like?
Yeah, I just feel like the strikes haven't been good enough from the Mariners because you hear the Mariners talk about dominate the zone all the time, but the key is they're not just throwing meatballs over the middle. to get ahead. Like, that's not it. You're not just throwing strikes to throw strikes. You're trying to throw quality strikes. You're trying to hit the corners. You're trying to get ahead to put Toronto hitters in a bad spot. I don't think the Mariners have done that well the last 2 games, and I think they did that really well in the first 2 games. They filled up the zone, getting ahead with quality strikes. The Blue Jays hitters were down in the count. They were swinging at pitches maybe expanded, and the contact was weak. When you put it over the plate against the Blue Jays, they're going to pound the ball. They've been super aggressive. That's who they are. They're going to swing early in counts. So the key is you got to make quality pitches early in the count, because if you just put it over the plate, and unfortunately that's what happened with Castillo and Kirby. They got too much of the plate, and the Blue Jays punished them, because that's what they do. But if Bryce Miller comes out and throws quality fastball strikes like he did in Game 1, the Mariners should be in good shape.
Do you like how aggressive the Mariners have been when it comes to base running? And do you think they should keep that going?
Well, yes. I do like how aggressive they've been in general, but there are times where you just can't get thrown out. Like last night, Rivas can't get picked off at first base in that scenario with Cal batting as the tying run. So you just have to be smart. Aggressive is good, but you have to be smart. Naylor, you can't get thrown out at third base as the last out in an inning when the Mariners kind of have an uprise going offensively. So aggressiveness is good. I think you have to pick your spots, especially in the postseason. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, is mistakes really get amplified in postseason games more than anything. And the Blue Jays took advantage of a couple of base running mistakes last night. So aggressiveness is good, but you got to pick your spots, because you cannot run yourself out of innings.
Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill, kind enough to join us ahead of a big Game 5 here. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Anytime. Enjoy this one.
See ya. It's a Fan Friday powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what can fans possibly see on Sunday?
Fans can possibly see an extremely efficient game when it comes to the pass. Sam Darnold leads the league when it comes to on-target throws. C.J. Stroud is number 2. We had this conversation, I think, yesterday or the day before. And I do this to myself every single week. The more film I watch, the more I respect the other team. I find things that they're good at, and I'm sure the coaches for the Seahawks have done exactly that as well. Stroud has a calmness with his lower body in the pocket that allows him to always have that solid base and always be on time. You're going to see a lot of shotgun this week with the Houston Texans. And you know what, Stacy? I was watching this offense. I'm like, why does this look so familiar? Why does this look so familiar? I looked at their offensive coordinator. Guess what coaching tree he's under? Sean McVay.
Oh.
Which is Shanahan as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Dad Shanahan.
The Shanahan and McVay tree in about 3 or 4 years. I mean, the roots are going to be all over they're already all over the league. But you're going to see some of the same combinations, the same route combinations, the same concepts. But I can see both of these guys completing like 75% of their passes, and it could be a really accurate day. Hopefully, the Hawks are able to turn the football over, but quarterback play should be at a premium on Sunday.
Second down. What impresses you the most about Houston's defense?
Linebacker play. Aziz Shair is a dog. He's a baller. Henry Tautau is a baller. You know, I thought his name was Ta'oto, but
that's how I've been saying it.
It's Tautau.
Wow, I've been wrong.
Nas got me right yesterday. Tautau.
I'm glad I didn't publicly just. And then Ta'oto.
I've been saying it for a couple years now.
It's what it looks like it says.
It does.
Okay.
But no, linebacker play is impressive. Obviously, you have Will Anderson over there as well. They fly to the football. They get downhill quickly. So I'm looking at this outside zone that hasn't really been hitting this year for these guys. You can almost use their aggressiveness against them. If they want to get downhill as a lineman, if you're that guard or that backside tackle, get into that second level, you just take them where they want to go. If they want to fly outside, you get on that inside shoulder and just drive them that way. But these linebackers can play, and it's weird to me because they can play, yet they're not even in like the top 15 when it comes to tackles. It makes no sense to me because I see them flying around making plays, but they're not making a lot of tackles. But they blow stuff up. They wreck stuff. Watch these LBs.
Third down. Who's a player on defense who's grown the most over 6 weeks?
Drake Thomas. Drake Thomas started last week. The week before, he split reps with Tyrese Knight. he might be the guy. And I'm looking at the way that Ernest Jones interacts with him and how he's playing. He had a sack last week. They sent him on a blitz. He got rid of a guard, got into the backfield. Drake Thomas has grown a lot over the past 6 weeks. Is he going to be the guy? Is it a matchup thing? Is it something that Tyrese isn't doing? Either way, I love how Mike McDonald and this staff aren't afraid to mix things up, right? We saw last year they got rid of their linebackers, brought in Ernest Jones. This year, they start with Tyrese Knight. I don't know what he's doing or not doing. Then you bring in Drake Thomas. They're always adjusting, and I can appreciate that. You got guys in the secondary. D'Anthony Bell's been playing because of necessity. They're just always adjusting, always on the move. The more I watch Drake Thomas, the more I'm impressed with him. He's an undersized linebacker, too. He's not very big, but he plays big. He's making plays. Drake has been doing his thing.
4th down. How has Kubiak kept his word?
He kept his word. He did, Stacy. Because he's marrying the run and the pass.
Okay.
Sam Darnold is number 1 in the NFL when it comes to play action pass yards, 593. They are only 26 when it comes to pass attempts, but they're top 5 when it comes to run attempts. It's all connected. Week by week, I see a wrinkle that he throws in there, a play that looks like a different play. And this is allowing JSN to get open. We're wondering, how is he getting behind this defense? How is he wide open? It's because Kubiak has done a great job, as my homie Big Ray would say, marrying the run and the pass. Here's some of Darnold's numbers. They're crazy right now. He's number 3 in the NFL when it comes to passing yards. He's number 1 in yards per pass attempt at 9.6. He's number 1 when it comes to yards per completion, 13.5. He's number 3 when it comes to pass rating, 11.16. He's number 7 when it comes to completion percentage, 70%. He's number 1 in play action yards, 593. He's number 1 in passing touchdowns under center with 7. It's offense is clicking right now.
I just didn't. It's so not what I expected, and I feel great about that. I thought that the entire offseason was, they're hedging their bets on this run game.
Mm-hmm.
Run's got to get going, and maybe you can have Sam Darnold as a game manager. Every single conversation about Sam Darnold, I do not know a single person that came in and said, Sam Darnold's going to be best in the league. Now, credit to you, who ahead of his time with the Vikings said, guys, Sam Darnold's nice. He could look pretty good out there. He's got a good arm. He had a little bit of a bounce back working with Shanahan. I think this could work out. And he had a great season. I didn't hear anyone at the beginning of this season go, I think Darnold's going to be leading the league in explosive plays.
No.
Not a single person.
Especially without DK, right?
I just wonder how that looks against this pass defense. Again, a Monday night game, a later kickoff here, 7 p.m. Against right now the league's best scoring defense. That's where am I wrong in thinking this has to be won with a run game that can be more effective? I'm not saying it can't be Sam. I'm not saying that just because Houston's offense is limited passers, it means that there's no way to win passing the bus. That's not what I'm saying. But is this a game wherein Seattle needs to be better with the run?
I think no matter who they're playing, they need to be better with the run. It's still a threat, but it's about time that you make teams really respect the run, because I think they respect K9, they respect this offense, what they're doing, but they don't fear them yet. That's what you want. You want defenses to fear the potential of the run.
Yeah, to your point, it's good that they've kept doing it. Like, that has helped. If you want to talk about, like, how's JSN able to keep doing this? Part of it's JSN spectacular, and Sam Darnold's been great with him, and there's good chemistry there, but there's also a good scheme. There's been some good protection, better than last year, and they've been trying to run.
Yep.
So credit to them for that. That's a good 4th down. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Game 5 of the ALCS pennant push starts at noon. Pregame at 2 p.m. First pitch at 3:08 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Timeline coming your way next on your home for the Mariners in the American League Championship Series, Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
What a turn of events we have seen in this American League Championship Series.
Now tied at 2-2.
The M's need to get more from the top part of their lineup.
We knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Today, the Mariners aim for a 3-2 series lead and pull within 1 win away from the first World Series in franchise history.
This team is really resilient. We believe in each other and we want to come back.
First pitch at 3. Mariners Pen and Push pregame starts at noon on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. But what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how do you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? Well, that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning, because once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. Seriously, they've already given back over $800,000 to customers. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Okay, but how are they able to do it? It's not a consignment. You get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value, so no more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. Get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn, and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com.
Seattle's rainy season is here. Don't wait to replace your roof. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project. Our expert team creates a custom plan for your home, ensuring a smooth, worry-free installation even in the winter months. With material prices low and lead time short, now is the best time to act. Stop throwing money at costly repairs. Protect your home this winter with a new roof from your neighbors at 3Tree Roofing. Visit 3treeroofing.com today to secure your $500 discount. 3Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
At Bible Law Group, our team reflects the same lessons learned by our founder, James Bible, while playing for legendary Husky coach Don James. Coach James always said it's amazing what gets done when nobody claims credit. That's the philosophy we carry into every case, because your victory is what matters at Bible Law Group. When your legal problems hit biblical levels and you feel like you're stuck in a lion's den of litigation, you need a legal team that won't back down. At Bible Law, we've secured over $40 million in settlements for our clients, and we're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
What's better than a zero-turn mower? 0% financing for up to 60 months on your entire purchase. Rick Riz here for Steel, the preferred handheld outdoor power equipment provider of the Seattle Mariners. Take advantage of Steel's 0% financing and up to $1,000 in instant rebates on select zero-turn mowers. Get a comfortable ride and a perfect cut with Steel's American-made mowers. Start easier, work smarter, and finish faster with Steel. Find your local Steel dealer at steeldealers.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nellie on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on seattlesports.com.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
The fall, well, it's a great time to reset your workouts on new stuff, and Top Fitness has some great deals going on right now. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've heard me talk about working out in your home gym. It's the best. From flooring to everything that goes in that gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, well, Top Fitness provides it all. Top Fitness represents the very best brands available, like Washington's own Precor, yes, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with so many others. Give Top Fitness your room dimensions right now, and you know what? They'll do the rest. They'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing, and mention you heard it from me, and receive an additional $100 off any new treadmill or home gym. It's no secret that everyone, from personal trainers to professional athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit them online at topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Brought to you by Integrated Rehabilitation Group.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
When the ALCS shifts back to Toronto, don't miss the official watch parties at T-Mobile Park. Catch Game 6 Sunday at 5 p.m., Game 7 Monday at 5 p.m. if necessary. On the biggest screen in Seattle, go to mariners.com/watch party to get your tickets today. All right, taking a look around the timeline, and then a quick injury update when it comes to the Seahawks ahead of Monday night. And then coming up at 45, the latest from Dan Wilson, his pregame press conference scheduled here ahead of Game 5. So a lot of information as we prepare for a massive game. And then as a reminder, Bump and I are out of here at noon, and we are sending you to an extended pregame show hosted by Bob Stelton. Brian Rowland-Smith is there. If you guys are out at the park for today's game, they're going to be broadcasting live from Hatback. And if you're just listening, it's going to be on Seattle Sports, obviously the Seattle Sports app. So stay tuned no matter what. Let's take a look around the rest of the league here, though. How are things in Cleveland today after former Browns quarterback Joe Flacco led the Bengals to a big Thursday night win? You could probably expect things are not great. ESPN Cleveland host Tony Rizzo unleashed on the Browns and GM Andrew Berry.
How could you do that, Andrew? How could you do it? Why on earth did you feel the need to trade this guy to a division opponent for a 5th-round draft pick? Fireable offense. That is a fireable offense. I want to know how much longer the owner's going to watch this crap, because the fans have had it. We deserve better. You're worried more about your stadium than you are your football team. That's the perception, Jimmy. And you allow these people to do this. You have the worst offense in the league. Your GM screwed this quarterback thing up like I've never seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. Kids that play Madden could have done a better job. Truly. That's not hyperbole. It's a joke. It's a joke. This franchise has become a joke. And I'm sick of it.
There's a brand of sports radio that I can't do. Like, it's just not really in my wheelhouse. I'm not good at it. And it's that. And I find it so entertaining. Like, people hate, like, Mad Dog, Stephen A. Smith. I dig it. Because it's just, I can't do that. And I find it so hilarious and entertaining. And that's probably how I'd be feeling if I was in Cleveland. Now, granted, Bump, when I showed you all those clips of Flacco, you were like, look, it's not like he's got zip on the ball. He's not going to save your franchise.
No, he's on time.
But he's getting it done.
He's getting it to Jamar. Jamar now leads the league with 58 receptions through 6 weeks, which is crazy. Yeah, this is and we're flagship, you know? Our approach is a bit different than
well, West Coast. It's just different. Different vibes, East Coast, West Coast.
But it's entertaining as heck.
I love it.
It is entertaining. And, you know, that's what Mike Tomlin said. Mike Tomlin was like, what's going on over there? Like, why would you trade a quarterback within the division and a capable quarterback in Joe Flacco? So I feel his pain, and I'm here for the entertainment.
Can I say something, though? Because while Tony Rizzo isn't wrong in that I'd be like, what are you doing? Sure, you drafted Gabriel and Shadur Sanders in the hopes that they would develop, but, like, they aren't going to be there yet. And meanwhile, you've got this really good defense. You know, Myles Garrett's, 30, 31 years old. Mm-hmm. Is he 31 even? 30, let's see, 30 years old.
30.
You know, he'll be great next year, but it's not like you've got 5 years of stellar play from him. He's in probably his final contract with you. Like, you make the most of the talent you have. You have a defense that's good enough. So I get the frustration. Joe Flacco was bad. Not last night. Last night, he was weirdly, like, it was one of the most efficient games from any quarterback this year, which is crazy. In Cleveland, he had been bad. Cleveland's offense had been atrocious. Joe Flacco had not been good. So is it Is it a Cleveland thing? Is it a Joe Flacco thing? Is this an anomaly? Is he actually going to be good? If he ends up being solid with the Bengals, I'm looking at Cleveland going, how is he so bad with you?
Yeah, it's weird when guys make moves and perform at a higher level. We're looking at Indiana Jones right now. Daniel Jones do that thing. It's like, what? Where's the disconnect? Like what's going on? Is it the coaching? Is it the offense? Is it personnel? I'm sure it's a combination of a whole bunch of things. But yeah, I'm not mad at his anger though.
Not a single person complained when Flacco was initially benched. I didn't hear anyone going, "What are they doing?" Mm-hmm. The entire conversation was, should it be Shedeur Sanders? Should it be Dylan? Were they wrong to start Dylan? Should Shedeur be the backup instead of Joe? I don't remember a single person saying this is a huge mistake.
No. Huge
mistake. Mm-hmm. People were just kind of waiting for it to happen. The complaint was that the decision was made before an international game, where it felt like a tough landing spot, tough defense, that it wasn't the best environment in which to debut a first start. But okay, I'm actually going to stick with football and then jump back to this college football story. So we'll jump to this one. Pro Football Focus co-founder and Sunday Night Football's Chris Collinsworth joined Kay Adams on Thursday to discuss the recent criticism of player grades. We talked about this yesterday in the timeline, a follow-up here. Collinsworth jokingly thanked everyone for talking about PFF before saying he knows coaches who have been influenced by the website.
Thanks for the attention. You're helping our sales. I mean, it's sort of ironic that we've had other coaches that have complained much louder to me about this. And those guys would call me and I would say, Coach, come on in, meet my guys, look at our system, pick it apart, do anything you want. Just take a look at the whole thing. Of those coaches, one of them asked for and did buy into our company. One of them asked to buy into the company and said he couldn't afford it. And another one endorsed cutting a player based on PFF grades with the team that he was with.
Endorsed cutting a player based on those PFF grades. So even though J.J. Watt and Chris Long had some issues with it as former players, and both you and I kind of co-signed and said, totally understand why they feel that way, here's Chris Collinsworth saying, well, I've had coaches that have made decisions based on these grades and kind of buy into it and they see value in it.
Well, they're watching the film and they must agree with some of what's going down. Some coaches, I guarantee you there are a bunch of coaches who don't agree with that and take that as the gospel. But everyone has their own process. I'm not going to knock anybody for their process. You're in the NFL. You're employed for a reason. You should be knowledgeable. And if you want to go off of PFF and not do your own research, and so be it. But I'm assuming that they're doing their own research and combining it with PFF and going that way. I think for them, it's easier for them to make the decisions because they understand what is being asked of that player, right? As analysts who we don't have access to these coaches and their playbooks and how they're coaching it, it's a bit different for us. So I think different strokes for different folks, and they got their process.
To college football before we get to an injury report for the Seahawks. Indiana football grabbed headlines yesterday after announcing an 8-year, $93 million extension for head coach Kurt Cignetti. This is after he was heavily linked to the Penn State opening. He's 16-2 to start his tenure with Indiana, 136-37 in his career as head coach. Previous stops include FCS level James Madison. So, does Paul Feinbaum think he's worth it? Of course not. Of course he does not.
I frankly think this is a terrible move by Indiana. I know that the college football cognoscenti will disagree with me, but there is no way in the world that Kirk Cignetti should be the third highest paid coach in the country. He is not in Kirby Smart's league. He is not in Ryan Day's league. He has a big win on the road against Oregon. What else is, I mean, listen, I realize he may end up winning the national championship, and those who cover college football are very high on him. But this is not how you make sound decisions. This is how you take your university to the ledge and at some point end up paying for it.
What's Paul Feinbaum's real critique here? And I mean that as a genuine question, because within his own complaint, he may take them to a national championship. I just wouldn't have done it. It's confusing to me.
You know what it is.
What?
He ain't coaching in the SEC, so you don't believe him. That's all it is.
Right. Indiana's not a traditional power.
Yeah.
How is this a mistake on Indiana's part?
It's not. It's the best thing they've ever done for their football program.
What is he even complaining about?
Stop watching other people's pockets, too. If Indiana
That's exactly
values
what you're
him
doing.
at
You're a
that point,
pocket watcher.
They value him at that amount. They value. It don't matter what Paul Feinbaum thinks.
So dumb.
Goodness gracious. I might work with him one day, so I got to chill.
I need to start having a Paul Feinbaum update regularly. Timeline, let's get to Paul Feinbaum Corner. Time for the IRG injury report brought to you by IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Mike McDonald gave some injury updates on a trio of defensive backs. First, the latest on Devin Witherspoon.
Is Spoon going to practice today? He'll be out there, yeah.
That's good news. How about Julian Love and Reek Woolen?
What about Julian? Julian will be out there. How about Reek Woolen? Reek will be out there. It's a fun game.
It's sure a fun game. I mean, I guess will be out there and won't be out there are at least some updates. So TBD on Julian Love, watching that one, but sounds like some good news for Reek Woolen and Witherspoon, at least trending in the right direction. Overall, 2 out of 3, solid news. All right. Let's get to Dan Wilson's pregame press conference coming up next on your home for the Mariners in the American League Championship Series in Seattle Sports.
What a turn of events we have seen in this American League Championship Series.
Now tied at 2-2.
The M's need to get more from the top part of their lineup.
We knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Today, the Mariners aim for a 3-2 series lead and pull within 1 win away from the first World Series in franchise history.
This team is really resilient. We believe in each other and we want to come back.
First pitch at 3. Mariners Pen and Push pregame starts at noon on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Welcome to IRG's Sports Injury Update. We're with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and president of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, and our guest, Dr. Nicholas Vaudreuil, orthopedic surgeon with advanced accredited fellowship training in sports medicine at Reliance Surgeons, Everett Bone and Joint.
Dr. Nicholas Vaudreuil, thank you for joining us. Tell us about ulnar nerve compression.
So ulnar nerve, it's the big nerve that goes along the inside of your elbow. Everybody kind of knows of it as the funny bone. It's the one that you hit and it gives you zingers all the way into your hand. So not only does it cause that, but it also can cause issues with chronic numbness, tingling, and pain going into your hand if you have either the nerve is too pinched or it's getting chronically irritated or it's actually popping over the knuckle.
When you have that pain going to your hand, where would that pain be located particularly?
Yeah, so it starts right at the inside of your elbow and it goes all the way down your inner forearm to your pinky finger and your ring finger.
And what causes the ulnar nerve compression? And probably a lot of things, but I mean, what do you think causes this?
It's usually like a repetitive thing, like overuse over time. And certainly different people have predispositions towards this, but it's like the pinch points around the nerve get really tight and the nerve doesn't like that. And it responds by sending pain signals and numbness.
How do you diagnose it?
So a lot of times it's based on history, but we will also add in nerve studies just to see how much that nerve is affected and if its signal is really compromised.
And what's the treatment like?
So depending on these, like it's something you don't really want to ignore. You know, a lot of times these actually do end up needing surgery, whether it's just taking the pressure off the nerve or sort of redirecting it so that it's not popping over the knuckle.
Tell us about return to activity.
So most people are able to bounce back really quick, especially if it's just the surgery to take the pressure off. I would say most people are back within 1 to 2 months. If you have to have the nerve moved, I usually add on another month, but it's a really high return to activity and most people get back to 100% with time.
Excellent information. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
With over 40 neighborhood clinics around Washington, IRG has you covered. Let IRG be your family's physical therapist. Find the location nearest you at irgpt.com. That's irgpt.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Big Game 5 today. Let's take a listen to Mariners manager Dan Wilson speaking with reporters.
Dan, Gabe, George, couple pitchers this series have talked about, continuing to stay aggressive, continuing to stay who you are, also, making better pitches and kind of just looking at what went wrong and what went right. Just how do you guys balance sticking to the game plan while also, looking at film and making the adjustments where you have to?
Yeah, that's really, that's the nuts and bolts of it. That's sort of the line of scrimmage, so to speak, is making the proper adjustments. And we've talked so much about Woody and Trent all season long and just the job they do and how they prepare our guys. And we talk about how hard our guys work and they're willing to make the adjustments. And, that's really where it all comes down to it. And I know these guys will do it. And making quality strikes in the zone, getting ahead is the key. And once, I think we've done that to some degree. And when we haven't, then we've been able, they've been able to take advantage of that. So, we continue to make adjustments, and I know our guys will be able to do that, and they've done it all season long.
We'll stay in the front with Mike.
Dan, at the plate, given the last couple of games, where are you at with the state of the offense, the at-bats being taken, and the adjustments that you have to make here for Game 5? Yeah, I mean, I think, again, yesterday we were able to get some guys on, not able to get them in consistently. I think, when we're at our best, we're grinding out at-bats one after the other and seeing a lot of pitches and getting deep into counts and making that pitcher work and drawing walks and whatever we can do to get on base. And I think that's where we're at, and that's where we need to continue to do and find ways to do that more consistently. And then once we do that, being able to get them in. And, we have hit some home runs in this series, which has been good. But again, to have a more consistent offense, it takes, I think, hitting home runs as well as sort of scoring traditionally. And that's when we're going to be at our best. So being able to do both is where we need to get to.
Go to the second row, middle, Shannon.
Dan, how has Bryan Woo been prepared to come out of the pen, and what was kind of his input in that as well? I know he did actually relieve a lot in college.
Yeah.
I think, again, just, learning from other guys, being down there the last couple nights and understanding the ins and outs of it, having done it in the All-Star game. I think there's some experience there to draw on. Until it happens, I think, that's when it'll really work for him. But I think he's going to be as prepared as possible. And whether that happens today or in Game 6, that remains to be seen. But I know Bryan, and I think at the end of the day, you need to be prepared physically for sure, but also mentally, and that's where he's really thrived this year on the mound is just that mental side of things, and I know he'll be in the right spot when he gets out there.
Go over on your right here, Curtis.
Dan, we know the potency of Toronto's offense when they get going. I think it's 29 hits over the last 2 games. When you look at the collective of that, a lot of extra base hits, hard hit balls, what are you seeing from the pitches they're getting to? Is there lacking execution that you guys are seeing? Like, where is it coming from in your mind that the hits are kind of piling up against you at this stage?
I think, when you're able to do some things offensively as they have, they've hit some pitches that were on the plate, and we talked about that a little bit. They've also hit some pitches, that were good pitches, that they were, able to get to and put into play, and that's what that team does. And, they've done a little bit of both, and they've been able to put together a more consistent approach than they were able to do in the first couple of games of the series. So, our objective is to continue making good pitches, getting ourselves into good counts, getting weak contact when possible, and striking guys out when possible. So that's going to remain the same, and our guys are going to be able to execute that going forward.
We'll go back to the middle, Taryn.
Today, you guys, last couple of days, you had to face Bieber and Scherzer, who you hadn't seen this season. Now you're back to Gausman, who you've already seen. How can that, in this postseason, when you guys have faced pitchers you've already seen, you've managed to get the better of them, execute the game plan better? How do you think that could help you guys today?
Yeah, I think that is helpful for sure, and our guys have learned from the first time facing him in Toronto, and obviously with his repertoire, a lot of sliders to the righties, a lot of splits to the lefties, and I think getting him up in the zone is going to be a key for us again today. We talked about it the last time, and making him get in the zone and hopefully finding a mistake there and doing damage to it. So, again, that familiarity is super helpful in game planning. It's super helpful in their preparation as they get ready to, get in the batter's box. And I think we'll be in good shape offensively today.
Go in the front, Mike.
Dan, it's often said that you turn the page after a loss, and guys tend to be compartmentalized here in this game. But given the gravity of this situation, how big is the clubhouse measuring this game, and how do your veterans set the example?
Yeah, I think this is, very emblematic of where we find ourselves a lot during the season. And, it's a 2 out of 3 series at this point, and we've been successful a lot of times in a 2 out of 3 series. I think our guys, they know what it takes to fight from this position. And that's been a sort of a key to our entire season. Really has just been their ability to be resilient, to fight back, to fight hard, and fight from inning 1 to 9. And that's really going to become front stage and center here these last several games. And I'm comfortable, and I think they're comfortable in that environment as well.
We'll go on the back left, David.
Hey, Dan, Gausman obviously has a great splitter, but across the whole sport, the percentage of splitters is way up this postseason. In general, what makes that pitch so tough for hitters to attack? And do you remember who had great splitters when you were playing?
I think, when you think about a splitter, it's unpredictable in a lot of ways. It's sometimes, depending on whose splitter we're talking about, it can act a little bit more like a knuckleball where you're just not sure where it's going to go. You see catchers having trouble even catching it. So sometimes it's, so the unknown, of how it's going to break. It's a strike to ball pitch. It starts in the zone and breaks down below the zone. That makes it difficult. It's a tough pitch to do anything with if it's executed at the bottom of the zone. It's a tough pitch to get in the air and hit hard. So, it's a good pitch, no question.
But again, I think that's kind of shows the importance of getting one that's up in the zone and being able to handle it there. And if you can do that, I think then you're going to be able to have some good success.
Hello, Dan. Alejandro Villegas from Source, Venezuela. What did you see from Leo Rivas during the season and during this postseason that made you put him again today in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, Leo, during the season and even in this postseason, just the quality of at-bats that we've gotten from Leo have been, just outstanding in really both sides of the plate. He hit some big home runs for us since coming back up in September. Left-handed, big, a huge pinch hit base hit in Game 5 from the right side. So, he has really swung the bat well and just, put up good at-bats, found his way on base. And then the defense that he plays, he's so versatile on the infield, whether it's second, short, he could even play third. He's played everywhere. Even had to play in the outfield one game. So he's a guy that gives you a lot of versatility, and his defense is outstanding. So, what we've seen from Leo has been awesome, and just his approach to the game, how hard he works, how he enjoys playing, and it's been good to have him in the lineup.
All right, that was the latest from Dan Wilson. Again, a massive Game 5 tonight, and we're getting you ready with extended pregame coverage coming your way next on the Mariners Pennant Push.
It's time, right? Yeah, okay, push it. We're Seattle sports fans, man. Ain't our first rodeo with the panic button.
The series is tied. The Mariners aren't down.
If the Mariners have taught us anything in 2025, it's that anything is possible.
He's still 2 wins away from going to a World Series.
ALCS Game 5. First pitch today at 3.
And the sellout crowd just waiting to go bonkers.
On Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here with Luke Wilson, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Thanks, Rick. Just like October baseball, Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington is stepping up to the plate. Mention Go Seattle when you schedule, and you'll score 15% off plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. This is your chance to swing big. This offer won't be around for extra innings.
Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Takeback Day, October 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers.